The national defense is made possible by ADT Security. For over 140 years, your first line of defense.
Welcome back to the National Defense. Randy Miller and Jerry Newberry. I hope you've been exercising.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
I mean, you better get ready.
I am ready,
Mr. Exercise. I mean, this is Mr.
Man.
Yeah, Tony Horton. You remember P90X?
Do I remember?
Let me tell you something.
I bought it,
and I bought. Everybody bought it,
and I bought the supplements.
Yeah,
the whole program.
Yeah. And what are you going to start?
Well, that was actually it's quite a few years ago now when I bought it.
Yeah,
and I made it through about 3.5 minutes before I passed out.
Tony Horton is on with us. Tony, how are you?
Jerry, Randy, thank you. Mr. Fitness, I love that. I'm going to change my name.
Mr. Fitness, you are the new Jack LaLanne to me. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's funny. Last year at the IDEA convention here in Los Angeles, Lala LaLanne, Jack's wife, handed me the Jack LaLanne Award. It was a heck of an honor.
Wow, no
Thank
kidding.
You, yeah,
that's pretty.
Well, you got
cool.
a long ways to go, though. He was what? How old was he when he passed?
96.
96.
I'm 58, and
wow.
I hope to get past 100 if I do everything right.
So Tony, let's talk a little bit about some of your history. Now, your dad was a veteran, was in the military, correct?
That's right. My father was a tank commander. He was down at Fort Knox at tank training for a while. Then we got moved over to in Hawaii at Schofield Barracks for a couple of years. And so, yeah, I was an Army brat. Moved 6 times before 5th grade. So
wow.
I know the life.
Yeah.
Well, you know the life. And then when you started your exercise and fitness routines, I can imagine that a lot of veterans tried to keep up with that.
A lot of veterans, I know for a fact, because my time spent with the military, those guys looked for Tony's program.
I'll bet.
To work out, yeah.
I'll
absolutely.
Bet. Yeah.
Well, I've been to 51 bases around the world from Kosovo to South Korea.
Wow.
I've been in an F-15C, threw up 7 times in that, got the Thunderbird, threw up 3 times in that, jumped out of a Chinook with the Golden Knights, did a backflip out of that.
Cool.
So, my first tour was in Italy. I was at Camp Darby in Vicenza and Aviano, and that's really my start. And then domestically, Colonel Stephen Shepro, now a 2-star with NATO, invited me to come to Andrews Air Force Base, and so I did my first domestic workout with a bunch of guys and gals there, and it's been 51 bases. I just got back from the air base in Salt Lake City, Air National Guard base, and did a speech in front of 600 people and talked about the impacts of my workouts with the military, and also did a nice event up in Deer Valley with some kids with PTSD. And the leading experts all say that physical activity changes the mental and emotional state. So that's the reason why. I love doing it. I've been to the Pentagon, done workouts 3 times there, so it's been a blast.
Man,
I'm tired just from hearing about that.
Wow,
that's incredible. When was the P90X? When did that come out, Tony?
P90X is now 11 years old.
Wow,
11 years old. Yeah,
yeah. I know. My wife and I got that when it first came out, and thought, man, we are ready. We are set. We're ready to go. Get that next level. And I think we got to about a week or 2. And then we started looking for like the P82X or the P.
I think you were looking for the P20X.
The P20X would have been great with that. But
well, the reason why I created there's a new program that's just coming out right now called 22-Minute Hardcore. It is a boot camp workout routine.
Wow!
A lot of guys at Afghanistan and Iraq are using it. A lot of friends of mine, Mike Mullally, who was a physician's assistant in the Middle East, had PTSD, and it really kind of helped him. Feel like he was part of something again. And so, we went to Camp Pendleton down in San Diego, and we ran them through it, and they enjoyed it, man. It was 22 minutes. It's fast and it's furious. You get it done. And because a lot of people didn't finish P90X, some of those workouts were an hour.
Right.
So this just gets it done.
And what's cool about it, Tony, we're talking to Tony Horton the man's done everything. You used to see him on TV about every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
On the P90X. But that's the cool thing with what you're doing, especially with veterans, because that's something, Jerry, when veterans come back, when they transition out, they are all of a sudden, all of that physical activity that they had, they don't have that anymore, right?
Yeah. And, Tony's really nailed it. It does so much. The physical exercise does so much for you mentally.
Yep.
I mean, everybody should know that, but especially the guys and the gals with PTSD.
Just a routine, I think, too, right?
Yeah, it's a routine. It's something you need to get yourself into. And it's going to make a huge difference in the way you feel and your outlook on life.
Yeah.
Well, it provides that camaraderie and purpose again.
Sure.
When you first sign on and you go through boot camp, and whether it's P90X or 22-minute hardcore, the physical movement does release norepinephrine and dopamine and serotonin, something called brain-derived neurotropic factor. John Rady, who's a friend of mine, a Harvard professor, wrote a great book called Spark, and he's worked with kids with autism. He's worked with guys and gals with PTSD. And he understands the science of it. I mean, that's what gets me out of bed every morning, because the actual thought of doing push-ups and pull-ups doesn't exactly excite me either. But I do know how I feel when I'm done, and I keep my expectations relatively low, which allows me to show up more often. And that's what I teach. That's the reason why I go around and visit all these bases. Our next one, I hope to go back to Italy and Germany and some other bases that we have. And I try to spread the word, because it's not about, hey, biceps and six-pack abs and all that kind of thing. It really does affect the quality of your life, your productivity, and how good you feel, especially when you're under stress. And when you learn that and that's true for everybody universally, then more people sign up for it.
Yeah, and Tony, you were also a personal trainer to a lot of celebrities. I mentioned a couple, Rosie O'Donnell.
No.
I'm just kidding. No. I know Usher. Usher's one for sure.
Usher, Ewan McGregor, Sean Connery.
Wow,
really?
Shirley MacLaine, Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Annie Lennox, Stephen Stills from Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. Yeah, I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. My first client was at 5:30, and I'd go till 9 o'clock at night, driving all over the city of Los Angeles in my broken down Mustang. Yeah, those were the early days, but those were the training days to be able to get to where I am now.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And you're talking about this program. You're doing something now that's coming up, I think on January 10th. But this is a cool deal. I just found out about this, and Tony is actually a part of this new. What would you call it, Tony? It's a complete kind of mental and physical wellness program, I guess.
Well, I've had great success in the training business when it comes to the physical, but I understand that a lot of people aren't able to sustain their momentum. You know what I mean? They kind of stop and start and stop and start. It's a very frustrating process. So I work with Brendon Burchard, who's the number one leading personal development coach in the world. Tony Robbins, Oprah, Arianna Huffington, all these people go to him. Usher actually did a course with
Tony Robbins
him.
Goes to him? Now that's a big statement.
Tony Robbins goes to Brendon Burchard. He's just that good at it. So we shot a course, and so you can check it out. You can go to my page, my web page, TonyHortonLife.com. You can sign up. The URL is tony.growth.com/TonyOPT. It's a little hard to remember, so you can just go to TonyHortonLife.com.
Or your Facebook page, right?
On my Facebook page, too. Yeah, the URL there is @Tony S. Horton, so it's simple. But what it is it really gets people to understand what I've gone through. I was a C- student with a speech impediment who was a 90-pound weakling who was picked last for every sport except for dodgeball. What's up with that? But anyway.
Hey, that's like something you read in the back of a comic book.
Yeah,
no, I know. Seriously.
Wow.
I had this thing called cluttering, where I would talk so quickly, all the words would rumble. And so, when you're a little kid, that's the guy you want to pick on. And so I had to work long and hard to be able to pull myself up and begin to make some dramatic change in my life. And it's what it is when you see this little 1-hour seminar, and it's free. You can go on and check it out. It really shows you the process that I went through so that I could become successful, so that I could become happy, so I could find good relationships, so I could sort of maintain and sustain a really good mood most of the time through hydration and proper eating and exercise and some basic practices that I've learned that are in my book, The Big Picture. So we break it down in this little seminar, and then you can move on from there if you like.
Okay, I got a question. Going back to your school days when you were picked for dodgeball, how old were you then?
Oh, I don't know. I think it started right out of the womb and well into my 30s.
So you weren't still in school once you started making the changes then?
Oh, my changes all came in my late 20s.
Oh,
late 20s.
I
was not athletic. I mean, I was on the football team, but I was more of a tackling dummy Monday through Thursday. You know what I mean? Like I was the guy to run over to, catch the ball.
So in your 10-year reunion, did you go back and beat the snot out of anybody?
Boy, I wanted to, but at that point I realized that wouldn't have been a good call. It was mostly my preteen and teenage years. I would say that elementary school and junior high school was pretty rough. Things weren't as bad in high school, but it was about a good decade there where I was looking around every corner.
No kidding. Boy,
you changed that a lot. Hey, and we're talking to Tony Horton. Tony, what about you ever get kind of crazy when you go into these gyms now and you see guys in there that are doing everything wrong?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? When I first got into fitness, there was sort of this build and burn model, and what I mean by that was a lot of guys wanted to get big. They're doing chest for 2.5 hours. They're working their arms. Their legs are skinny as sticks. You know what I mean? They couldn't run 100 yards if you paid them. And then a lot of gals are, they're on the elliptical for 45 minutes. Like a gerbil in a cage. And so, that's fine. It's better than sitting at home and watching I Love Lucy reruns. But the future of fitness is all core and proprioceptive and massive muscle recruitment and speed and balance and range of motion. That's what you'll find in P90X. I mean, in P90X, there's bodybuilding and yoga. There's martial arts and there's core. 22-minute hardcore, the new one, is all, burpees and lunges and squats and pull-ups and different kinds of core and crunches that work your center, work where you need all your, where you really need to function well. It's all about functionality. And so what happens is these people, both men and women, they get into these patterns, right, where they end up getting injured. They end up getting bored, and they also end up not getting the results they want because they're repeating the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. And so I just throw everything against the wall. I give you everything. And so that sort of, we call it muscle confusion or whatever. It forces everybody's body to change because so many of these movements are so different for most people.
What's the number one impediment? A lot of people tell themselves they want to work out. They have the desire, but there seems to be with a lot of people something that just stops them from doing it. Is it because of low self-esteem, the way they look, or what do you think it is?
I think a lot of people kind of blame time. Everybody has really busy lifestyles. I have one program called 10-Minute Trainer. There's these 10-minute little blasts. And I always say, if you can't do 10 minutes, you just don't care.
Right.
It's not a priority for you.
Yeah.
But the idea, I think it's most people's purpose. Their lack of purpose, their lack of accountability, and they don't have a plan. So my typical answer is, if you care about this, schedule it like you do everything else. Right. Schedule work, schedule lunch, schedule meetings, schedule your workout. Let everybody know, hey, between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., leave me alone because this is the priority for me.
Right.
Not for aesthetic purposes, not because to massage your ego. It's because you understand, because I told you, it's a mental and emotional shift that allows you to have more energy and enthusiasm for your life for the rest of your life. If you believe that and you understand that, you experience it a couple times, then you go, okay, I want to get out of the survival mode and I want to get into the thrive mode. And that's what it does. You go from survival to thriving. And it's weird, and transition is hard for people. And when I say that to them, they go, no, it can't be true. Happened to me. Dodgeball guy, speech impediment guy, stuffed in the locker guy, low self-esteem guy. That was me. Exercise and eating right changed my whole life.
Can't imagine Tony Horton stuffed in a locker. Hey, Tony, do you have just a couple more minutes?
Sure do.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Tony Horton right here on the National Defense.
Look, you can't go a week without hearing how the Ford F-150 is way ahead, leaving every other truck choking on its gravel. And when it comes to safety, the truck that leads the pack is the high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy body Ford F-150. F-150 is the only pickup to earn both of the most important safety ratings in America. First, it earned the government's highest overall safety rating, 5 stars, for all sides and all cab configurations. And now, F-150s earn the IIHS top safety pick on Super Cab and Super Crew with optional forward collision warning. It's leadership like that that's made Ford F-Series America's #1 brand of trucks for 39 straight years. So let's review. F-150 is the only pickup to earn both safety ratings, once again raising the bar for what a truck should be. This is the safest Ford F-150 ever, and every other truck is history.
Government 5-star safety ratings are part of the National Highway Safety Traffic Administration's new car assessment program. Tests include driver and passenger front side and side barrier pull tests.
How do you thank the millions of men and women who have fought so bravely for our country over the years? At the Home Depot, we think it takes more than words. We believe the best way to show gratitude is to do gratitude. The Home Depot Foundation is committed to veterans and their families, improving their homes and their lives. Since 2011, we've invested $160 million to veteran causes and impacted over 26,000 veteran homes. By 2020, we'll grow that investment to $250 million. From simple wheelchair ramps to complete home makeovers, transitional housing, community support, we consider it a duty and a privilege to serve senior, wounded, and homeless veterans the best ways we know how. After all they've given us, it's the least we could do. $250 million by 2020. Doing more for veterans. Doing gratitude. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing.
At Minute Clinic, now you can hold your place in line. So instead of sitting in our waiting area, you could be shopping, working, or snuggled up in your very own bed. Now anywhere can be a Minute Clinic waiting room for everything from coughs and colds to strains and sprains. Just sign up online or in the CVS Pharmacy app. It's the cure for the common wait. See wait times and hold your place only at Minute Clinic. Available for select services only. Restrictions apply. Visit MinuteClinic.com for details.
At PenFed Credit Union, we believe our men and women in uniform deserve to do better with their money. So we offer great mortgage rates for service members and veterans. Buy or refinance your home with PenFed and get the great mortgage rate you deserve. Apply today at PenFed.org. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed. PenFed is federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
The Subway Steak and Cheese Footlong is now $6, a tribute to the two greatest ingredients to sit between bread. Our lean steak is free of artificial preservatives and flavors, and our cheese is melted to mouth-watering perfection. Yes, this is a Subway cheese-covered meat masterpiece for just $6. Find that hard to believe? Then look no further than our sign.
Hey, that sign says the steak and cheese is $6.
Correct, and it's only $6 for a limited time at Subway.
At participating restaurants, additional charge for extras and deluxe plus applicable tax may not be combined with other offers or coupons.
United Airlines Foundation is built with a strong connection to the military. We take great pride in employing military veterans in virtually every facet of our company. From pilots to technical operations and across our entire airline, veterans are core to United's DNA. We are committed to our community and providing support to organizations for veterans and military personnel. We also fly tens of thousands of U.S. servicemen and women on military charter flights to locations around the globe. Learn about career opportunities at United.com. United, fly the friendly skies.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, from Custer's Ranks to Patton's Tanks, we sail the seven seas and patrol the wild blue yonder. Our troops are the first line of defense for our nation. ADT Security is grateful for your service. ADT is the first line of defense for the things that matter most to you. ADT Security has been in business over 140 years, and we know being safe isn't simple. That's why we have 365, 24/7 monitoring to protect your peace of mind. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP.
SelectQuote knows that you can complete any mission, but when it comes to getting term life insurance to protect your family's future, you feel like a raw recruit. There's VGLI, but that typically costs 10 times more than other options. So go to SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Visit SelectQuote.com/protect or call 855-493-8335 to complete your mission. Available only to active duty or retired military residing in the United States.
As we begin a new year, Sam's Club would like to thank all active and former military personnel and their families. Your service is truly appreciated. To show our gratitude for all you've done in 2016, here's an exclusive offer just for you. Join or renew your Sam's Club membership and receive a gift card for up to $25. Hurry in now to shop the club and restock your household after the holidays. Make this your best year ever. Come to Sam's Club and get this special offer for military families and personnel. See Club for details.
This is the National Defense. National Defense. National Defense. National Defense. National Defense.
The National Defense is made possible by ADT Security. For over 140 years, your first line of defense.
Welcome back to the National Defense. Randy Miller, Jerry Newberry. This is incredible. I've lost 20 pounds just since Tony Horton came on the show.
Usually the most exercise I've gotten lately is going to the refrigerator and make a sandwich.
You're right. Well, that burns some calories.
But I'm getting fired up. You already got me motivated.
World-class trainer and fitness guru Tony Horton is on the National Defense. And Tony, so here's my deal. You like to work out with other people, right?
Absolutely. That's the only way I get it done. I mean, on Monday night, I had 15 people in my backyard doing plyometrics, and it was 47 degrees, in Los Angeles, which is rare.
Plyometrics.
So it's that camaraderie. It's, we're pushing each other. It's not overly competitive, but when people knock on your door and you schedule it, you get it done.
If I get an invitation, to come over with a large group and do plyometrics, I'm thinking it's like a Tupperware party. What is plyometrics?
Well, plyometric is jump training. It's it's any time you leave the surface of the earth. A jumping jack is a form of plyometrics. It's low impact plyometrics. But a lot of people think of plyometrics as box jumps, and we don't do that. But we will go super deep in a lunge or squat and then jump as high as we can. And we'll do that repetitively for 30, 40, 50 reps. And it's sort of an anaerobic type of exercise because that's not something you can sustain for long periods of time, like swimming or riding a bike or running. But what it does is it just really attacks the heart, lungs, and legs. So it burns a bunch of calories. It's super athletic, and you don't need a single piece of equipment. So it's easy to just do that in your backyard.
First of all, if you get invited to an exercise party at Tony Horton's house, I don't know. I don't know if you accept that invitation. I mean, that's...
we had a couple of rookies here who probably won't be able to walk well.
Yeah, I was just going to say, right. Well, I try to get my wife involved, in an exercise or some exercise program, and she's a horseback rider and a horse trainer, and she said, no, I ride horses every day. That's my exercise. And I said, no, that's the horse's exercise. I don't understand.
How did she figure that's exercise?
I don't know. I don't get that. I don't understand. Tony, tell me I'm not crazy about that.
Well, a lot of people think if they spend the whole day cleaning the house that's exercise.
Right.
It's certainly better than doing nothing.
Right.
But what happens is that the body gets used to doing simple, basic movements. Even if it's elliptical or running for 3 miles, if you're a runner and you do your 3-mile run 3 times a week, guess what? You better start running 4, and you better start running faster. And then it becomes 5, and then you run a 10K. So this is how because the body adapts, and the only way you can get as fit as you possibly can or reach your ideal weight is to make sure, obviously, that your food has to change. I mean, fast foods and fried foods and soda pop and candy and cake and muffins and bagels. I mean, those things have to be minimized and healthier foods have to be consumed. But at the same time, if you've been lifting weights your whole life, go to a yoga class. Trust me, man. It's really hard. Or if you're a runner, then you might want to try a pull-up. It's just common sense that the more you mix it up, the more you do, the better you get. And in the process, another thing is important. Keep your expectations down, especially when you're trying something new. Because I'm athletic, I should be able to do this other thing that's completely different. Well, no. The answer is no. And so in all my programs, I have modifiers, which basically means while you're looking at the screen, you'll see somebody who's killing it, and then somebody else who's just doing a modified version, so that you have an option as opposed to going, whoop, well, I can't do that, or it's not for me. Because I'm trying to help as many people as possible.
Sure.
We have an obesity crisis; it's out of control. So if I give you a modifier, at least you have a step, you have a door you can go through to at least start.
It's great stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Tony Horton's on the program. Tony, with our remaining time here, tell us one more time about January 10th, the live streaming event, right?
Live streaming event. It's with Brendan Bouchard. It's a huge thing because it really sort of talks about the mental and emotional aspects of being successful, of being happy, of improving all aspects of your life, not just physically but mentally and emotionally. You can go to tony.growth.com/TonyOPT, or you can go to my website, Tony Horton Life, and you'll just see it right there, and it's on the 10th, and it's free.
Cool.
You know what I mean? If you have a computer, a laptop, or phone, you can see it on the 10th, and it's life-changing. I'm excited because, Brendan Bouchard worked with Tony Robbins and Oprah and Arianna Huffington, and it's just an honor and a pleasure.
That's cool.
That he, allowed me to create this course with him. So it's pretty cool.
Tony, we got to have you back on, man. This has been fun. It's been great to talk to you.
Well, as you guys know, I've been to 51 military bases. Anything military, any way I can help. I was an Army brat. I know how, it's especially for vets, it's not easy, and I've got information that can improve people's lives. So you say the word, and I'll come on with you guys.
That's
again.
great.
Cool. Great.
Thank you, Tony. Listen, good luck with the event. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, fellas.
We got to go work out. We'll be back here next week with a brand new edition of the National Defense.
This has been the National Defense, made possible by Ford, Go Further, by the Home Depot, more saving, more doing, by SelectQuote, since 1985, we shop, you save. By Subway, get the steak and cheese footlong for only $6 from Subway. It's packed with lean steak, free of artificial preservatives and flavors. Get it with red onions, green peppers, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and melty cheese, only $6 for a limited time. By PenFed Credit Union. PenFed's got great rates for everyone. By United Airlines, proud to employ veterans across our entire airline. By CVS and the CVS Minute Clinics, the cure for the common wait. By ADT Security, for over 140 years, your first line of defense. And by Sam's Club. Sam's Club thanks all active and former military personnel and their families with this special New Year's offer. Join or renew your Sam's Club membership and receive us a $25 gift card. See Club for details.
Hey, here's a stunner. Ford F-Series is America's best-selling brand of trucks again. The same brand that's been America's favorite since your dad had hair is #1 again? Yeah, who could have seen that coming? And it wasn't even close. What's kept Ford F-Series on top for 39 years straight? Game-changing innovation, pal. Like the high-strength military-grade aluminum alloy in the F-150. You may have noticed the competition came up short again. Ford F-Series, F-150, Super Duty, making every other truck brand history.
As we begin a new year, Sam's Club would like to thank all active and former military personnel and their families. Your service is truly appreciated. To show our gratitude for all you've done in 2016, here's an exclusive offer just for you. Join or renew your Sam's Club membership and receive a gift card for up to $25. Hurry in now to shop the club and restock your household after the holidays. Make this your best year ever. Come to Sam's Club and get this special offer for military families and personnel. See Club for details.
This is the National Defense. National Defense. National